Hello everyone, you're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Police investigating after fight leads to shots being fired near Toronto High School. 2 suspects charged after Lamborghini stolen in armed home invasion, Richmond Hill Police. Trudeau says up to Air Canada and pilots to reach a deal as deadline approaches. Peel region reports its first human case of West Nile virus this year. 2 people seriously injured in ferry rollover outside Humber River Hospital. SIU investigating after motorcyclist critically injured in Port Colborne collision. Workers at Walmart warehouse in Mississauga vote to unionize in Canadian First.
Those were the headlines, and now let's jump right into the details.
Toronto police are investigating after a fight in Midtown Friday afternoon led to shots being fired, causing a school to be placed under the lockdown briefly. Police said they received a call for the sound of gunshots around 12:19 p.m. near Rosemount Avenue and Highview Crescent in the area of Oakwood Avenue and St. Clair Avenue West. Officers did not locate anyone with injuries but found evidence of gunfire. The vehicle, a dark color sedan, was last seen west on Rosemount Avenue. No suspect information has been released. Bastingwaite said police do not have information about what led to the fight as well as if the shooting was random or targeted. It happened near Oakwood Collegiate Institute, which was shortly put on lockdown following the incident. After the lockdown was lifted, the TDSB said the school remained under hold and secure as a precaution until dismissal. York Regional Police say they have arrested 2 suspects and are looking for at least one more following an armed home invasion in Richmond Hill that saw thieves escape in victim's Lamborghini. Officers responded to a home in the area of Rothbury and Gamble Roads, west of Yonge Streets, for reports of a home invasion at around 1:30 a.m. on September 12th. Police released video that shows suspects going to the front door first before trying to gain entry another way. Suspects eventually entered the residence by smashing the rear glass door and then confronted the victims with firearms, police said. None of the residents were injured, police said, but the suspects fled in the owner's Lamborghini. Several hours later, police caught up with a stolen vehicle about a 10-minute drive away in Richmond Hill. Images of the Lamborghini released by police showed the red car with dents on the driver's side, its mirror partially hanging off, and inflated airbags. The white Range Rover, police said, was discovered to have been stolen in a carjacking in Toronto on September 10th. Police said Friday that 19-year-old Dilraj Bal of Woodstock, Ontario, has been charged with robbery, using a restricted or prohibited firearm disguised with intent, and 2 counts of possession of property obtained by crime over $5,000. Bal was on probation order at the time of his arrest, police said. The second suspect is a 16-year-old boy from Brampton. He cannot be named under the provisions of the Youth Criminal Justice Act. Police said they are searching for at least one additional suspect. An image of that suspect has been released. He is described as a male of about 20 years of age. He stands around 5'8" and was wearing a black balaclava, black hooded sweater, gray athletic pants with black stripes down the legs, and black shoes. Police said they believe the suspects are responsible for other vehicle thefts and are asking anyone with further information to come forward to investigators. As the deadline approaches on a potential shutdown of Canada's largest airline, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says it's up to Air Canada and the union to reach a deal to avoid disrupting travelers and businesses. Speaking at an event in Saint-Anne-de-Belleuve, Quebec on Friday, Trudeau said he wouldn't tip the scales toward either party. He said the government won't intervene unless it becomes clear that no negotiated agreement is possible. The airline and pilots will be in position starting Sunday to issue 72-hour notice of a strike or lockout. The airline has said the notice would trigger its 3-day wind-down plan and start the clock on a full work stoppage that could come as early as September 18. The airline's cargo service has already stopped accepting certain items such as perishables, but says so far it hasn't had to cancel any flights because of the labor negotiations. Air Canada has said a shutdown could affect the more than 110,000 passengers that fly with it daily. Even a partial closure will take time to return operations to normal. The airline is offering travelers scheduled to fly September 15 and 23 to change their flight for free and said it will notify all travelers of any impact in advance of their flight. Numerous business groups have called on the government to intervene in the matter, including the Canadian Federation of Independent Business and the Canadian and U.S. Chambers of Commerce. The potential shutdown comes after both of Canada's major railways saw lockouts in August that were quickly resolved through government action, as was a strike by WestJet mechanics on the Canada Day long weekend. Labour Minister Steve McKinnon, who met with the pilots and the union Thursday to emphasize the importance of them figuring out a deal on their own, has said there are significant differences between the Air Canada's dispute and the one with the railways. Negotiations, which have stretched more than 16 months, are mostly stuck on the question of pay as the union pushes for some of the steep wage gains made by pilots at U.S. carriers. The airline says the union is being inflexible with unreasonable wage demands, prompting the call for the government to be ready to intervene. It says it has proposed wage gains of more than 30% plus benefits improvements. The Airline Pilot Association union, representing more than 5,200 pilots, has said it is corporate greed that's holding up talks as Air Canada continues to post record profits while expecting pilots to accept below market compensation. It says about a quarter of pilots report taking on second jobs, with about 80% of those taking them out of necessity. Peel region says a Mississauga resident tested positive for West Nile virus. It is the region's first human case of the virus this year. While the overall risk of getting a West Nile virus infection is lower during the fall months, this case reinforces the importance of residents protecting themselves against mosquito bites, said the Dr. Nicholas Brandon, the Associate Medical Officer of Health in Peel Region. Until the first frost of the fall arrives, residents should remove standing water sources where mosquitoes can breed. West Nile virus (WNV) is transmitted to humans through the bite of an infected mosquito. While most people who contract WNV will have no symptoms, health officials said some will experience flu-like symptoms such as fever, headache, body ache, mild rash, and swollen lymph glands. As of September 7th, there are 16 human WNV cases in Ontario. There were 41 cases last year. Residents are being encouraged to apply an approved insect repellent that has an ingredient effective against mosquitoes such as DEET or Icaridin. Avoid areas with large mosquito populations and be cautious between dusk and dawn when mosquitoes are active. Wear light-colored, tightly woven, loose-fitting clothing. Make sure all window and door screens fit securely and remove all drain items that hold stagnant water. 2 people were seriously injured after a vehicle rolled over and caught fire outside Humber River Hospital late Thursday night. Toronto Paramedic Services responded to a call about car fire on Sir William Hurst Avenue near Keele Street and Highway 401 shortly after 11 p.m. Paramedics said they transported one person to a trauma center in life-threatening condition. Another was transported with serious but non-life-threatening conditions. There was no immediate information about the age or gender of the two. Images from the scene show a badly damaged and burned sedan resting half up on the curb outside the hospital. It's not yet clear what caused the collision. The province's police watchdog is investigating after a collision in Port Colborne early Friday morning left a motorcyclist critically injured. The Special Investigations Unit, SIU, said a Niagara police officer initiated a traffic stop in the area of Highway 3 and Empire Road at 12:30 a.m. for 2 motorcyclists traveling at high speeds. Shortly after the motorcycles collided, the SIU said one male rider was airlifted to a Toronto hospital with life-threatening injuries. Meanwhile, the SIU said the other rider was taken by ambulance to a hospital in Hamilton and his injuries are not considered serious. The police watchdog has assigned 2 investigators and 1 forensic investigator to the case and designated 1 subject official. The SIU, which investigates the conduct of police that resulted in death, serious injury, or allegations of sexual assault, is asking witnesses to call 1-800-787-8529 or submit evidence online at https siu.on.ca/en/appeals.php. A group of workers at Mississauga Walmart warehouse has become the first in Canada to unionize at one of the company's warehouses. More than 40% of 800 plus workers at the facility signed a union card this summer. The Ontario Labour Board then awarded them a vote which was held between September 10 and 12. Unifor, Canada's largest private sector union, said Friday that workers voted to join the union. I really congratulate these workers on their courage and determination in terms of exercising their rights, Unifor National President Lana Pine told Awaz News in an interview. She said they did so in the face of staunch opposition from the company. While the official numbers from the vote have not been released yet, Pine said the yeas were around 427, while the nays were about 300. In a statement, Walmart Canada confirmed the outcome of the vote and said it is reviewing next steps in the process. Unifor began its campaign to unionize the facility about 10 months ago in December 2023. Health and safety in workplace, proper scheduling, and earning a decent wage were factors and prompted workers to sign a union card, Pine said. She said the workers will next form a bargaining committee and then reach out to the company to begin bargaining for a collective agreement.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.